I would now like to invite Councillor Abdul Malik, Chair of the Finance Subcommittee, to present his report.
Thank you, Chair. I'll try not to repeat some of the stuff that you've gone over already, but as Chair of the Finance Subcommittee, it's my privilege to present our report on the draft budget savings proposals and options for 25-26. This document represents months, as you say, of diligent work and rigorous analysis and honest conversations about the financial challenges we face as a council and the communities that we serve. At the heart of our discussion was the one unshakable principle, Chair, how to balance fiscal responsibility with our moral duty to protect the most vulnerable in our city. We are fully aware of the scale of the financial pressures facing Bristol, with a projected £51.6 million funding gap that demands difficult decisions. Yet, as a committee, we were determined to ensure that every pound saved and every pound spent would reflect fairness, equity and commitment to minimising harm to the most deprived communities. We scrutinised each proposal in detail, asking tough questions and holding ourselves accountable to the residents of this great city. We examined the potential impact of changes to waste collection, library services, adult social care and the support for low-income households, to mention a few. And for each area, we looked beyond numbers to understand how these decisions will affect real lives. Children walking to school, families struggling with the cost of living, and our elderly residents relying on care services. Chair, the report is attached to today's Strategy and Resources paper bundle for our consideration and ultimately our final approval, but I'd like to say a few words in presenting it to you. Within the report, we have highlighted areas where we found consensus and areas where more work is needed to address risks and inequalities. For example, on changes to the waste collections, we stress the importance of communication and support for larger households, ensuring no one is unfairly disadvantaged. On libraries, we explored the opportunities to modernise and improve services whilst protecting access for communities that rely on them as safe spaces. On adult social care, we emphasised the need for robust partnerships with health services to ensure fair funding and to ensure that the continuity of essential care for vulnerable residents. We also focused on the broader implications of our saving proposals, urging that equality impact assessments go beyond just compliance to truly understand how decisions will affect Bristol's diverse communities. Older people, disabled residents and those living in deprived wards are often disproportionately impacted by financial cuts, and we cannot lose sight of that reality. Throughout this process, Chair, I've been inspired by the collaborative spirit of the committee. Our work was strengthened by the insights of policy committee chairs, council officers, both past and present, and members of the public who participated in our sessions. Their contributions ensured that our deliberations were thorough and reflective of the concerns and aspirations of Bristol's residents. We do not present this proposal and the proposed report lightly, Chair. Each recommendation has been carefully weighed, and where there were differences of opinions, we've been transparent. What remains clear is our collective commitment to finding solutions that enable the Council to live within its means, whilst safeguarding the services and support for the most vulnerable residents and what they rely on. I note and welcome that since our meetings, our comments have been listened to and a number of changes have been made to the budget proposals that are before the Strategy and Resources Committee today. For example, our collective views on the budget options in relation to school crossing patrols, disabled parking bays, the library reviews, museums and cultural investment programmes have been fully taken into account, Chair. I want to take this moment to acknowledge the finance officers whose expertise and dedication supported us through the process. I also want to thank my colleagues on the Finance Subgroup Committee for their hard work, scrutiny and passion. Together we've approached this challenge not simply as a budget exercise, but as a moral responsibility. As the report moves to Strategy and Resources Committee, I urge us all to approach these discussions with the same care and diligence, but also, the stuff that defines our work. Bristol deserves nothing less, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Malik. I'm going to open up for questions